Yes, we're back. Episode 3 of the Winter Football Podcast. How are we doing, boys? Alright?
Alright.
Good to have him back, innit? I've not seen him in ages.
Good to have him back.
You've never been, haven't you, mate? BBC?
No, I've not done anything.
He was on Pollock last night.
Pollock, mate.
Pollock,
Like,
I was,
fucking
aye.
smashing Borussia Dortmund Champions League and then he's doing Pollock. What a man. Man of the people, you, mate.
Weeks ago. Well, that's it. Football. Football on, it's on the telly, radio. There's every chance apart from the World Cup.
It was good that we come to the Alloa game, mate.
Oh, alright, okay. I thought he was there.
Don't go to every game.
Thought he'd be there, mate.
What night? I've got 4 wins.
Should have brought him. Could have brought him, mate.
Didn't want to come. Asked him.
What night you miss, wasn't it?
News upper.
No,
You say your dad got his boss stuck with it? How did that happen?
Right, mate, what a night Friday is, mate. I know we're going to go to the World Cup, but...
We've got beat, mate.
I know, but it was amazing, the performance, Scottish Cup, to think where you were at the start to that, and then the decision. Listen, I've always been quiet on decisions, so I've always been quiet because...
Trying to talk about it, mate.
You let whatever, you try to concentrate your team, whatever, but that decision's disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful for that to happen. It's people's livelihoods. That
You got to cope with it. Him on the touchline.
That's a
touchline ban straight away.
I actually can't talk about it, mate. I will be physically sick around the table.
That replay we saw after the game looked dubious, but then the one that's been posted, that's pretty clear.
To be fair, the ref was right in front of you. How do you get that wrong?
How do you get that wrong?
I don't know, mate.
Clearly, obviously loves like another podcast or something.
I don't know, extra time that coming up. But anyway, World Cup.
Come on, let's move on.
That's been absolutely honking.
That's been even fucking mad dog shit.
I was alright the other day.
The first 2 games yesterday was good, wasn't it? And then, I mean, this low block, every team's doing.
Every team now
When I
plays
say
low
low block, I get slaughtered, but you can also say low block. What's
I
going on?
refuse to say it. I had to
You're
Google it.
rubbing off on us, son.
I don't like
You've
saying
changed
it.
this,
I
mate.
don't
You've
like
changed
it. Just easier, isn't it?
Not enjoying it now.
I mean, these teams, I totally understand if you're a smaller nation, you've not got the quality of players. But if you're seeing Brazil doing it, you're saying Portugal, no, Portugal didn't actually do it.
Brazil, do you think, last
No,
night?
they didn't do it.
No, Brazil never
I don't
done
think
it.
big nations have done it.
No.
Just wanted to keep that low block in there. That's what you're hearing, and it's high, low block. I mean,
Brazil are not in it. I don't think. Do you?
he's playing a ranked team. He's playing a ranked team, isn't he?
Who you know?
Fred's coming in.
Fred, that was it.
Hey, you slaughtered them, didn't you?
Who, Fred?
Before the World Cup.
Richarlison?
The Man United midfield.
What about
Casemiro
Casemiro's
pops
finish?
up.
No, Casemiro's class.
But you slaughtered Brazil for playing Man United's midfield. You've got guys with 5 Champions Leagues.
Who's winning it then? Who's beating that team?
Spain, mate.
Spain, think so.
Spain
I
on that
think
team.
Brazil have got
Put any team in front of me, it's Spain.
I think they've got everything.
And up top and...
all over the pitch. I think Spain, you're looking at who's going to... I know they scored 7, but who's going to be that goal scorer in the big games against the bigger teams? Germany's the same. I know we're going to go into that, but...
Hey, jeans are fucking outstanding, by the way.
Did you borrow them off Luis Chippers?
No, these are chippers. Chipper gave us them after the game. Says, unlucky on the defeat, but here, take my jeans.
Were they skinny jeans when you were at Dundee?
Me and Paul Hart used to show them.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, you're not having them, Dan?
Mate, it's like, who is it? Who did we say? Jim
McDonald.
Jim McDonald. You didn't even get the tag.
Les Barnes being Jim McDonald, man.
That means...
We Norris. Is it Norris?
Who's Roy Cropper? Am I Roy Cropper?
No, he's Haley. Roy Cropper and Haley.
No, Big Fred, remember I called him that time?
Big Fred the Butcher.
Big Fred.
Fair.
You're looking well, big man.
No, I don't know. I just thought, come here, it's fucking Baltic every week, so I'm bringing the big jacket.
No, you're broken the light, shut up.
I've just told the producer that's me done with live shows.
Is that you?
Fucking live shows, nah, no chance.
What happened?
I just didn't enjoy it. Can you hear any of it? Like,
It's hard, isn't it?
Aidan McGeady's reading a question, right, and I'm thinking, and he just went, Juliaka. I went,
Your story about Juliaka was brilliant, though.
shite.
Tell that again, mate.
Did with Saviola.
That was it.
And I was like, I can't hear what he's saying. What do you want me to say about Juliaka? And I'm thinking, in my head, I'm going, did Aidan McGeady play with Juliaka?
Have you told that after dinner before?
No.
It's like that.
That's the thing. I went
You're
from,
buzzing because you had a shocker in the other one, didn't you?
Absolutely loved it, mate.
I went from a high of entertaining 130 people on the Friday to going to on the Saturday to going to SWG3 on Sunday and see as if doubting whether I should be here though.
No, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. These people all came out. It was just
Aidan was good, wasn't
it was amazing. Who was the guy shouted cool story or something to me, fuming, wasn't he?
he fucking, he was actually wanting to score a goal, wasn't he?
Aye.
And then me and you kind of hit a wee bit of a wee bad spell. And
Did
we
what?
kept turning
Can't
up. We
remember
didn't, but I was like, got a story and we kept saying, Aidan, tell us about Robbie Keane. And he answered it and we kept asking it 4 times.
Killing Sheridan was class, wasn't it?
Sheridan was brilliant, wasn't he? Oh.
What was his story about the manager putting a porn on or
What
something?
about the one that the boys pulled him? What
The car salesman.
The car sales.
Car salesman's pulled him up for asking for a discount because he played with Dundee. Car salesman in Dundee's like, I've just got a story about killing Sheridan. Came in and asked for a motor and said, do I get a discount with that because I play with Dundee?
She's had to go up the stair and Google him.
I texted Derek before it saying fans are coming on the live show. He just wrote back, I'm in jail. Derek Ferguson. He's gone, man. Right, Edinburgh. What a drink. Best of it. Would that be your last ever? If you were going to die in 5 minutes, last packet of Chris, last can of juice, and last bar of chocolate, would it be Edinburgh?
You can't not say it's Iron Brew, isn't it? No, because they're sponsoring it, but it's Iron Brew, isn't it? When I first moved away, you used to try and get your Iron Brew. It wasn't as readily available, so aye, Iron Brew. We're Scottish, aren't we? That's it.
That's
Iron Brew.
lovely.
You like Iron Brew, Ken?
I do, aye. I like this one.
Iron.
Iron.
Iron,
Is it the fake stuff you
Is
used
it
to
iron?
get? Iron.
You say
Iron Brew.
Is it
Where'd you get
iron?
that from?
Wherever.
I like the iron. I like this one, the extra.
I drink a lot of that.
See that cold? That's as nearly as good as the original.
Nearly as good. It's supposed to be better.
Is it? Extra taste, no sugar. There's no advertising on here to say it's better.
Did you see Andy last night? On the news? Outside Ibrox?
I thought you meant the guy reporting. Put a pair of glasses on, Kennedy Red Sun, isn't it?
Okay, brilliant.
Have you seen Andy say that?
Aye.
Was yours like that at one stage?
Aye.
And you left the house?
No, I didn't go.
No, can't believe it. He's bold.
I went to
Just kicking
Portugal for
about.
a week, mate.
Did you?
We didn't eat that the whole time. We didn't eat.
I can't eat. No, but I can't eat looking at his head.
Aye.
Scabs on it, not.
It wasn't the scabs on the live show, weren't they? No, they actually weren't it. Weren't they?
Where were they?
Was it not? It was last week they were on. But it was brilliant for Andy to do that, wasn't it? Support.
Would you ever get it? And
I'm gonna
you
eat
match
them.
the scabby head to the scabby face.
I'm
He's just waiting for the hair to grow in. There's a beard one he got.
I think your hair's been looking good recently. Needing a bit of volume.
Anyway, on Beale.
No, Iron Brewer
Not at
presenting
all.
another episode of What the Football Moments.
Aye, brilliant. And it's been amazing, Iron Brew in it since we
You need to say that out.
amazing drinks, aye. It's been amazing right
I've
years.
already covered that.
But what I'm going to come on to now, they've been amazing with us. The shows they're producing, the content they're putting out there. Absolutely, it's a match made in heaven. Won't we go on
The best bit was when you were crying at the kitchen. That was brilliant.
That was genius.
That was actually quite good acting, by the way.
Yeah, that
That
was.
was good.
I'm waiting for the phone ringing. I'm waiting for the phone ringing. I was genuine.
was
Fucking
a
raging in the kitchen was shut. I'm not going to lie.
Hadn't it for 10 minutes.
I hope it's not the end. I hope it's not the end.
Fucking hell, Paddy, that was...
Faddy's coming for
sorry,
Love it,
sorry.
Faddy. Love it,
That's
Faddy.
that. Jesus
I
God.
hope it's not the end. I hope it's not just the World Cup we're doing it with Iron Brew. I mean, it was very powerful.
You want to do
Iron
more
Brew together.
stuff? Davey
I really
Martindale's just texted me.
loved it.
I have an idea that could do well for your viewers.
Oath.
Wow. I'll read it in full after this and I'll break the news. Michael Beale. Thoughts on Michael Beale's appointment as the Rangers manager? Surprised?
Surprised that that's who they went for, but obviously we knew it was going to happen for a couple of weeks, so...
Surprised with what, just because he's only been a manager for a short space of time?
Aye, I think that I've sat in he done a presentation on my pro licence and he was really impressive how he's planning for training, the kind of stuff he done in training, his ideas on how the game should be played. He was really impressive. But I think being a coach, I mean, his reputation's brilliant as a coach, but being a coach and being a manager is different. I know he's done it at QPR, but for a very short time, and you know how stressful that can be.
Yeah.
But to be new in as a Rangers manager where you need to win every week is difficult. I know he's worked there before, but I think it's a big jump becoming a manager. I know as I said, I know he's been a manager, but
Is it harsh to judge him on his managerial record?
I think you can judge that.
Because it was such too short a time.
Too short, innit?
aye.
See on his managerial record, like the QPR situation, let's be realistic about that in terms of we're talking about the losing 4 out of the last 5. see up until that point, QPR shouldn't have really been where they should have been. So you've got to look at that and think his first lot of games were very, very good. To have that squad, because a lot of them are free transfers, they took in Balogun and stuff like that, and I'm thinking that to get QPR top of the league, considering some of the budgets in that league, was probably a good achievement. So even QPR sitting where they're sitting now, that would still, for me, if I was the QPR, I'd be happy where they're sitting, because they're in the hunt, whereas normally they're not in the hunt.
I think it is harsh because 21 games? 20 games. He's shown that he can organise a team, he can get them playing, they're playing well, winning games, and as Kev says, on a big budget, bringing in free transfers and loan players, so it shows you can identify players that he wants to fit into his system. Again, his coaching credentials are top class, but you're getting into a place where you have to win every week. You've not got time to settle, unless they're making it, a kind of long-term one. I know the contract's quite long, but a long-term where they say, come in and try and get your ideas across as quick as you can. But this is an appointment for the long term, and the fact that he knocked back Wolves when he was at QPR,
it was going to happen.
I think he had an idea. I think he had an idea, but even then, like how many times you see he left with Gerrard to go to Villa in the Premier League. Villa are a bigger club than Wolves, but you would think that the fact that he's knocked back Wolves, because even if having a chance he got to Rangers, it's a positive for Rangers and their fans. The players know him, but he's got a big job. He has got a big job because something has to change.
Peter's seen that as a good thing that the players know him, but if he's been a coach before, was it maybe too friendly in terms of the coach is usually that guy that's more a...
Good point. So he could come in there, pick up where he left off in terms of coaching, but as a coach he probably was everybody's mate.
And now you need to be a different guy.
Now he has to be a different type of guy, so that's obviously...
Depends how he works.
We don't know what personality, what type of personality
very confident,
he is anyway.
He done everything anyway. He took the training, planned the training. He put it up in the Pro Ash. It was a season plan on days off at specific times, and the training load and stuff like that. I think he'd done a lot of the tactical stuff in the meetings, so I don't think too much will change. I don't see him changing too much as a guy, so I don't think it'll be an issue. The players, by all accounts, obviously liked him. Jermaine Defoe came out and says he's one of the best coaches he's worked with, which is high praise. So I just think it's different. You need to deal with everything then. You're a coach, you can tell the manager your ideas and you can go back and forward and say, I think this is a great idea. You're the guy that needs to make that decision, and it all falls on you. And that is the difference between being a coach and being a manager. You need to make the decision, and you need to go and front it. You need to do all the press and answer difficult questions at times. So that is the difference. But look, it's something that he wanted to become a manager. He's got an opportunity, and that's a huge opportunity for him.
He's the best at Kent and Morelos.
The
contract's running, they were brilliant under Gerrard. Do
you think he'll go back to that 4-3-3, wide players coming off his side field back?
That's how he plays.
I think his difficult job is to get that group of players believing themselves again, because they have had a bit of a rocky start to the season and a couple of difficult results in between, but he's got to now get them in, and that might just be the lift that they players might need. Morelos might think, I've got somebody coming here that can help me massively last time, I can get going again. Shouldn't need to be thinking like that anyway, should be doing that regardless. But he's got I would say a very good run of fixtures to start with in terms of the teams he's playing. Is it Motherwell? He's got Celtic obviously at the end of the year, and that's where he'll be.
3 games up to the Celtic game, isn't it?
3 games. It's a 3 games to get 9 points and then prepare for yourself for probably the biggest game of his career.
I think risk though, isn't it? 9 points behind Celtic in Europe.
Got him taking
it. But they had to change something.
He's got a 3-year deal on it.
Whoever comes in is a risk, because I know you're saying about Morelos and Kent. Morelos has been, it's his fault that he's not performing. You can look at the manager and say, look, he didn't play him, whatever, but he wasn't fit, he wasn't in shape to go and play and affect the game the way that he can play. So, everybody will look and say, Morelos, so he'll get the best out of Morelos, but he needs to want to get the best out of himself. He needs to get in shape. And he needs to be ready to play, because up until this point he hasn't been.
Is that what they need to? Do they need somebody that's going to be more on the front foot as kind of coaching style?
The fit with this season's been, as much as I've been Van Bronckhorst cheerleader, isn't but he did do well for me.
But is it similar to what you said to Van Bronckhorst? Does he need to be backed, especially in January?
100%. He does, doesn't he?
Yeah,
you look at Celtic. This is the criticism. Kent gets criticism every week, right? doesn't get goals, doesn't get assists. It seems to me always, every single week, the first name is Kent, but you look at Celtic, they've got Jota, Abada, Maida, they've got so many options, whereas I only look at, Forest.
If
Did they mention him?
You put Forrest fifth in there, that's good.
No,
that's good.
You're coming for everybody, aren't you?
I'm just meaning for Andy's signing, so we look at it, if Jota has a bad game, you can bring somebody on. So you said that the last Celtic game, I think we were drawn, and the three attackers got to go and warm up, and the whole place lifted. The Rangers have not got that, they only rely on Kent. They need a right winger in, the recruitment's got to be key. But I think he might have just bit off a wee bit more than they can chew with Big Ange. I do. I think he's on a different level for anybody.
So is that not a positive then? Because whoever comes in, Celtic are so set, they're so far ahead. At least they know that Michael Beale he's got a style. He's going to coach them into that style. He's going to get them playing, as we've seen before, getting them playing a good brand of football, getting the best out of the players that can make a difference. So it's maybe one where they say, look, obviously, you know, you're under pressure to win straight away, but at least they know they're getting somebody that has a definitive way of playing.
Yeah.
You'll be able to look at his team and say, right, that's exactly
what
you've
not really been able to do with Van Bronckhorst, have you found it?
No, he's changed quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, you look at Rangers under Gerrard, with Beale being part of the coaching setup, their full-backs were key. Tavernier, you know, bombing forward, getting goals, getting assists. It's not really, he's not been as prolific this season. And I just think their performances have been pretty flat, lacking energy. Their best performances, Hearts at Tynecastle for 45 minutes because they were sharp, they were direct, they got the ball forward, they were a real threat. Aberdeen at home, the same. They need to do that more because they've got the players that can do it, and you want to get the best out of your players that can make a difference, and that's the way to do it.
The thing that you said earlier on about him being a gamble, and Freddie said that anybody would be a gamble. I think any Rangers fan, serious Rangers fan, would understand that probably the season is a bit of a write-off. What Michael Beale has to now do is make sure that there's improvement there, there's signs of that, right, okay, we've managed to close the gap to a point. So next season they're optimistic about how things might go next summer. But if he was to be up, like, really get going and maybe say beat Celtic at the end of the year, things could quickly change because
I don't know if they would think it was a write-off now. I think if they never made the change, they would say, look, it's going to be difficult because they need to start winning games, they need to get a run of form, consistency. But now they've made the change, it will give them optimism that they can go and close that gap.
But that optimism could quickly disappear after like 3 weeks if Celtic were to go and beat them. That's 12 points and you're thinking, right, okay, but what you've got to be at least hoping to see is massive improvement. And obviously now we've got another 2-3 weeks left before the season gets going again. That's a long time in football for somebody like Morelos to get properly into shape, really hammer him at home, so that when the games start up, he's come back with and then it's a case of getting the matches, and then before you know it, you might have your talisman striker scoring goals again, and then everybody feeds off of that, because I think when
you see him back in the team, first game back, kid?
Maybe not first game back, but because I think it depends how quick they can get him up to speed. But if Michael Beale's coming in, if I'm coming in as Michael Beale, I'm looking at, right, what made us successful in the past under Steve? And I think Morelos was your talisman, massive part of everything. And I think if you get him playing at the levels that he can, I think the whole team feeds off of him. And I think if we can get him back to that kind of level in terms of a fitness point of view, to be able to go through 90 minutes and affect games, then the rest might have that wee aspiration to think, you know what, we've got Kolak's done well, Cholak, whatever you call him, he's done brilliant, but you want Morelos on your team.
I've never seen a first team coach getting as much credit as he's got now. He must be unbelievable.
Such a short period of time.
What Gerrard done, he's always been the manager that gets the credit, but
he's only getting it now, isn't he? He wasn't really getting it so much.
But was it the Villa goalie that Martinez that came out and says he's never seen a first team coach do so much?
Aye.
Did he?
Uh-huh.
But it's even...
You know that? You know, listen to that interview with man there.
I was surprised that one.
To be fair, I've never seen a first team coach at Broomhill do as much as what you do, son.
No, he's on fire, this man. Will he be successful?
No.
Oh, straight in.
No.
Cannot wait to read the comments.
At this time, oh my God! It will not be successful when Ange is if Ange leaves, then I mean God only knows, and God only can guess who's going to come into Celtic. Who knows?
Only God can judge me.
God can judge me as well. She talk about God. But hey, I think if under Ange, I don't think he's got a sniff at it. So I really don't. He's in a different level.
What is successful in this?
So in that 3 years, will he win the league?
No, with Ange. I don't think so. I think Ange, as I keep saying it, he's just...
Well, that would be success of Rangers now.
For me, with Ange, is like...
Need to win the league.
Well, not even at the January transfer window, he's already buying players in for...
Has he got 3 years?
3 years, I'm sure.
3.5.
Right. 3.5 years.
Of no winning anything.
No, no Rangers manager gets more
no
than...
way. Well, Dale White, who didn't mind just saying, he says if he didn't win the league next year, he'd want rid of him.
Just wants me to drop.
That's just wants him to drop the game.
What about his shirt and all? Like,
he came dressed as a waiter, didn't he?
Oh, goodness me. One of the worst I've seen. It was like,
How tight was it?
Very tight, but short sleeve. It was so tight. It was like one of the... See when you dress up as a stripper, as a Polish.
Oh, aye.
Stripper, and like that, only short sleeve.
But see what you're saying? See when Ange first came in, a lot of people were saying there's no way he'd win the league in that next year.
Well, he get ridiculed, Ange. Ange get ridiculed. You remember boy at Brazil, Alan Brazil doing it Talk Sport. I mean, he was laughing at Ange and how daft he'll feel now. But this
Alan
is
Brazil would wear these jeans, wouldn't he?
You've got them for Brazil.
No, you'd go to Brazil.
That's the worst I've seen you. But no, listen, I think, as I said, I think Beale, it's hard to judge. I think everybody says he's amazing. As you say, it's different being a manager. I was talking to Andy said, is it that different being a manager? Because being a manager now is, you need to deal with the coaching. So it's a wee bit different now for the days of, like, say, Sir Alex. But I don't know, see the days now though. Is it that different?
Yes, it is. Believe me.
Do you think so, Si?
I think so.
You need...
Can you concentrate on just the coach? You can't,
No,
can you?
can you fuck? No.
So
but
he'd be distracted with that, Jay.
But this is something that he's always done. You know, he spoke about Emi Martinez at Villa, taking the no just right, go and put a session on and the manager leads the tactical. He was leading everything.
Yeah.
So in that respect, no a lot. I don't think it'll be a big difference for him. He's brought in his coaching staff that he's happy working with. So
picking the team's the hardest thing in management. Picking the right team.
Mm-hmm.
So see, Peter, I'd done all the coaching, tactical stuff, but I didn't pick a team on a Saturday. You realise when you get the job, that's the hardest bit.
Were you presenting it?
Just trying to get it right.
Second guessing yourself.
You're guessing yourself all the time when it comes to the team.
I suppose like when you're a manager, like, you pick your team and you make a couple of subs like or tweaks during the game, say 60 minutes in, you must sit back and think to yourself, why the fuck did I not start with that?
Yeah.
So it's difficult, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, it has to be.
Aye, I think it is because you've got an idea in your mind what you want, and then you go into that last training session even and you think, I'm not sure. Looking at somebody's body language or whatever, you maybe go, I'm not sure that's the right decision, and then as you know, you get sleepless nights. You know, try to pick them. I've not done it, but I've seen managers there worried about, you know, the implications of losing that game based on your team selection. But Michael Beale is a coach that has known what he's wanted for the very start. He's built up his reputation as a coach. He's been very hands-on at Rangers, then at Aston Villa. He's obviously went into the role as a manager. It's something he's been working towards. So it's not as though somebody says, oh, you're a good coach, why don't you have a shot? Yeah. It's something that he's chased and prepared for. So look, it's a huge job for him. The fact that it's Rangers, they need to win every week, the fact that Celtic are so far ahead, it's a huge job for him. But he could have stayed at QPR and says, no, I'm all right, we might get the Premier League or another job, a big job might come up for me. He obviously rejected the Wolves job. So this is something that it's not just been, that looks all right, we'll give that a go. And he's like, no bother, I'll see how it is. It's something that he's wanted. So look, it doesn't mean it's going to be successful, but for him, he'll be as prepared as he can be getting into the job.
Definitely. Any word on the backroom staff now?
He's brought the guys for QPR, but he says they're going to add to it, so
Smith,
they might bend me a shout.
I quite like the...
He's doing an analysis, isn't he?
I quite like the respect he's shown to Scottish football and Rangers in terms of like knocking back Wolves.
Yeah.
And obviously saying what you said about loyalty, I'm all in, and his jump fucking shit. But for me, I know that's outrageous, but for me that's showing that like when the right club comes along, a lot of people disregard us up here.
Yeah.
But he's been here and experienced it under Gerrard. And I just think that he's given Scottish football a bit of respect by coming here.
What is that? Fly?
Just in the again, just go.
Do you know it's just flying?
Come in for under your armpit.
You know it's just only hovering about him.
What a catch up, like.
So what, have you had a haircut?
Aye, got it for Istanbul. That was a shock, that was what it was called.
Kebab and a haircut?
Right, see, I was in Edinburgh yesterday to see John Higgins play.
Oh, how was it?
Unbelievable, what an experience.
Did he get right? One?
142 v
Ah, what a guy.
Anthony Hamilton looks like he'd been driving through a bush, mate, before he came on. No joking.
Did it make you feel good?
I felt brilliant this time. But see the fans, mate.
Did you see the Rocket
What
missed
do you
it in
mean?
the fastest televised 147?
What was the fastest? What is the fastest? Was that
I don't know, but it was 3 seconds he missed it by.
That's
something like that.
unbelievable.
It was not 147, was it? No, just a century break.
Century break. How did you go through with John?
No, his car was full. Got to train through, gutted.
Ah, so he's patched it.
And then he left us a backstage pass, but I didn't want to use it.
Why?
I just felt he's seen all his family, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. So I was
my
like,
God,
I was killing myself when I done it.
So you just went and sat and watched the ticket yourself?
Sat with the fans. Mate, what to see them, mate.
Did you go dressed? Like, know how you go to the football with your...
Shooting at him with the fans, couldn't believe it.
What do you
Have
mean?
you empty Q case?
Tommy Gravison. Tommy Gravison with the Q case, man. What?
You should have came.
Busy, mate. Watching your game for the weekend and watching Rangers.
I watched it, was it snooker?
Right, okay, I bet you did. What do you mean, the fans?
So I can't say I'm mate.
What, like,
Did you get the did you get the wee earpiece to listen to comments?
No, mate, I didn't, but see, I didn't need one because the guy beside me, my tune blaring.
who's your favourite commentator? Virgo?
Who's the guy? It's there. Who's that?
Virgo.
Virgo, aye, he's great. Dennis Taylor.
Watch the way. There's a cue ball going.
I didn't even need it, I know, I don't know. Higgins, you seen what, mate?
Alan McManus is brilliant.
On the commentary?
Aye.
I like him,
He's like you in the football world, aren't you?
I don't know.
Do you know Higgins? You met him?
I've met him, aye.
Like him?
Aye, he's alright.
Just alright?
No, doesn't like
I don't know him well enough. Met him at a golf day.
Do you expect him, man?
No. No.
He's
I was only
the
there.
best.
I only spoke to him for a couple of minutes
He's
after
a
that.
hero, mate.
He is the best ever guy in the world.
Really nice guy.
So who's the best guy you've ever met in the world?
In the world?
Bibbsy.
Oh, Bibbsy, fuck. He's had a tough time in there.
Has he? What
Every
was
time
your
I
favourite?
say
Mr. Flower.
Mr. Flower, Dougie. Every time I speak about Bibbsy, you say something, man, he pure text me that. Oh, cheers, begging for that.
Does he?
Bibbsy, it'd just be great for your name's being mentioned on the podcast.
There you go.
Top man, I don't know.
We need to talk about World Cup, don't we?
Davey. It's still strange for me. I've tried to watch as many games as possible while we having nothing on. It's been
What, we're none?
sometimes aye, well, it's a 10 o'clock start, isn't it?
Just like that, pretending it's a World Cup. Squeezing your balls through the World Cup.
Some of the games have been poor. Some of them have been alright, I suppose.
You'd hate football. I think you'd hate
It's
football in this
different
day and
game,
age, mate.
It's rubbish.
Rubbish. So
It's
tactical,
rubbish.
innit?
It's good. Do you know who's about the scheme for it? And it's unfortunate because he's a genius, Guardiola. But he's a genius at it, and people try to copy him and they don't know what they're doing. It's ruined football. You never see any individual now at all.
Nah.
No, I think that's, you look at France, Mbappe's been brilliant
Outrageous, aye.
because he's got something different.
Yeah.
He can take control. And then, I know we're going to move on to it. England, they don't play Phil Foden. You're like, he's the only guy that will go and create for that midfield area against the low block. He'll take the ball and take people on. I think it's a lot of pass and it's slow and it's just, that is a different game. It's a different game. And
The only one who's really tried stuff's the Qatari goalie, innit?
He was outstanding. Him and another boy for Wales, Wayne Hennessy. Wait 40 years for your country to fly kick somebody.
He nearly got there though, didn't he?
What was he thinking?
It's not as if he had enough time to think about it.
The best one was Portugal 3-2 up, and the goalie, there's a guy standing behind the goalie.
Oh, no. What was he thinking there?
Oh,
Who do you think for now, Joe? Who do you think is going to do it? I think France. Spain have looked really good, actually. France.
Gavi and Pedri are an actual joke. I've not seen enough of them for Barcelona. I've heard people talk about it, but holy fuck.
I don't think they play as good as that for Barcelona. I think Luis Enrique's getting the best out of them.
You look at Musiala for Germany.
He's been brilliant.
And then you've got,
Yeah.
as you said, Foden, though. You've got these young players that lighten it up, and then you've got Foden sitting there who is probably, I think he is world class, Foden, I think.
Aye, definitely.
It's strange because there's so many players that have come into some of these bigger teams. If you think of like the Dutch goalie, hadn't he played an international game and he's been called up for the World Cup.
The German
Look at the Germany striker.
What a finish that was, by the way.
What a finish. But he was just a big, more of a physical presence, and that's what troubled Spain. He just managed to put himself a bit more, some kind of old-fashioned style, and they eventually got their goal. But it's been strange. There's no like you're starting to see the best players in the world, and you're thinking this guy was playing League 2 in Germany a few years ago, and he's just been called up because he's had a good season. You're like, how does that happen?
Well,
is it just
they don't have that.
I know somebody said that this World Cup's come too late just for some. It's just a bit too late.
There's too many old.
They've not had a striker. Germany. They usually
Who was the last one?
Closer.
Closer. Gerd Muller.
Yanker.
They'd normally have a big striker, didn't they? Physical presence, and I think that let them down in the Euros, not having an out-and-out striker. So they've maybe looked and says, like, this guy's scoring goals in the Bundesliga. Yep. Get him in, see how he is. And you see him the other night, gets a chance. What a finish it is as well.
Do you think Nars missing the smell of his buzz?
We done it the other day, didn't we? Before the game.
Hold on,
Trying to get 14 more before the game. I can't believe outrage. Can you believe outrage yet for the world? Just a bit of
What do they smell? I can imagine they smell like
sweat.
damn glaze.
Just sweat. Just pure sweaty balls. Can Messi do it?
No.
I think there's Argentina. Mate, what's going on with them? The setup of them.
Well, Messi was getting it for the ITV pundits at half time. Did you hear that?
Embarrassing.
That was a bit much now for Messi.
Average Roy can come. Messi's still unreal for PSG this season, and he scored the other night. Roy can call Messi average.
Do you think the likes that Messi there, when he gets to like the big stage, maybe feels a wee bit of pressure? Because obviously he is the talisman, he's the...
He doesn't.
No,
He
I don't feel like the way he's... The whole country's on his shoulders.
He will now, because Canelo's got to put...
Did you see that? But mate, see the video, he wasn't doing anything, he was just in his boots.
Oh, he's all over the
Mate,
place.
imagine that, you're trying to play a World Cup and Canelo's fucking after it.
Did you see him with Aguero as well?
No,
Aguero came out and says, oh, it's not like that, it's after the game you swap shirts and they're sweaty, you stick it on the floor. He was just trying to kick his boot off and it brushed past it. And Canelo's like, don't start. You're in my DMs going, oh, Canelo.
Hypocrite.
Says, I'll get you as well.
You wouldn't be able to sleep, Canelo's after you, mate.
I don't you'd ever bump into Canelo, I think you'd be alright.
Imagine you did though. That would be awkward.
You know, see Messi against World Cup, you know?
I think Messi could take Canelo.
Be Messi fighting Canelo, imagine that.
Imagine you seen Canelo at one of the games. Messi's playing.
Just sitting down.
See, if you're Canelo, you'd make sure you went to these games, wouldn't you?
Just to freak him out.
Just for banter.
You just turn up the touchline.
Argentina, for me, I'm gutted, but I don't think any chance.
They'll get in the group though, won't they?
They'll get the group now. But
You never know. Listen, we're talking about the teams that are playing against them, making it difficult. Once they get through into the knockout, then it's not a game where you say, right, if we get a draw here and win the next game in the group, then it's all about the group. Once it gets to the knockout stages, you would hope that teams open up a wee bit and go and try and win the game. So you never know. I think they've still got a good team. The game against Saudi Arabia was poor after probably the first half. I thought they battered them in the first half, scored 3 goals that were offside correctly. But I think one of them was dubious, but they looked like they looked pretty good.
How good was the Saudi guys' half-time team talk?
Yeah, probably.
The wee guy.
You understand it? Take a picture.
Tommy Gravison in there.
He translated passed it an orbit, wasn't he?
He translated, was going for it, wasn't it? Usually we translate sitting.
Saudi Arabia's actually been one of the highlights of the World Cup, the way they play. So gung-ho pressing, isn't they? They've been amazing.
Because they don't know what they're doing, they're just going for it.
See if you get if you're a team against Argentina in the knockout, you'd pay a fortune to get Canelo on your staff, wouldn't you?
Aye.
Just get him to stand on the touchline.
Just appoint him as your manager.
I'll just put that scene at Happy Gilmore when the big tall guy standing pointing at Shearer. Canelo on the side pointing at Messi.
Right. This guy can't get any worse for me.
He's a hero.
Ronaldo's celebrating a goal, he's not even fucking touched
Aye,
it.
he's touched
hero,
it.
by the way.
He's not touched that.
He has. I'm giving that.
Nah, I don't touch it.
I'm
It
giving
doesn't
that.
look like it, but what I will say is
He's a hero.
He's an embarrassment.
No, I
mate.
love him, mate. He's a
he
legend.
must have felt something.
Aye. I'm with you.
To celebrate, not to go.
Nah, he's
like,
a fruitcake, mate.
No,
He's
it's
a
mine.
fruitcake.
He went mental. He must have felt something.
He needs to talk
Is
to
all I'm
somebody,
saying.
mate. Honestly, I'm reaching out. He needs to go and speak
It
to somebody,
happens, I've
man.
done it myself. Come on, like years ago, got my first ever hat trick and the ball came in and I'm convinced I touched it right at the end of the back net and I went away and went and gave it the... And I knew I'd touched
Gave it
it.
what, sorry?
Gave it the fucking whatever it was.
Is that what you done?
I knew I touched it, but it didn't look like I touched it, but I definitely touched it. And Ronaldo's done the same.
He's not touched that.
Aye, he has.
He's a hero, mate.
Nah, he's not.
He's a legend.
He's a
think
dick,
for-
mate.
Imagine
pure
celebrating
banter.
that and he's no scored.
It's amazing that it took off a minute.
I'm constantly
Because
going to take it off after the
Still
TV
fuming,
Fuming
settled.
this morning.
100%.
Oh, God.
That was
Aye.
the story Aidan told. That was brilliant, wasn't it? He said Robbie Keane was on something like 74 international goals, and Noel Hunt runs through, shoots, and it's like an inch off the line, and Robbie Keane taps it in, and was like dubious whether it was. And Noel Hunt's like, come on, Robbie, like, that'd be my first international goal. And Robbie Keane's like, nah, mine, mate. The Irish FA, Robbie Keane's goal, 76 goals for Ireland. That's horrendous, isn't it?
I'm saying that boy Nugent as well, his goal for England.
Aye.
First
David
cap.
Nugent?
Aye. Defoe
Played
goes
the Pompey,
through
didn't he?
and he sprints for about 25 yards away and just gets it on the line. Defoe would have been looking around going,
You must have done a few of them, nah? You stole a few goals now.
No. I had one stole off me.
Who for?
Cameron Jerome stole my goal. Playing Burnley, I went through and it was the goalie got a touch in it, but it was rolling into the goal. He ran in, sprinted in, banged it in the net, ran away like that. You did.
That's a worst start.
Nah, strikers why score.
But striker, that's what you do. Like that happened to me, Man City away. Gary Breen's headed it over.
Sorry about that.
Past David James, it was going in, and I just saw it. And Stephen Elliott was standing there with a big smile on his face, ready just to tap in, and I've come out with fucking nowhere. Hey, you fucker, and you go. That's a problem.
That was a goal bonus.
It's like, fuck off.
I've
got that picture on my phone.
Was it a goal boner?
No, it was my first Premiership goal.
Oh, is it?
So I was like, fucking hell, here we go.
Get the big high heel on it.
Get the big high heel in. Bunion just cut there.
Shot for the penalty spot, just stuck your leg at the bunion, had it.
Not a problem.
And did he pull you up after? Was he arguing after the game?
No, we're just jogging by. I went, that was my goal. I said, no, it wasn't. It was mine.
Love that.
No, arguing with the big man.
No, you fuck. Well, could they still win it?
Aye,
I think they could as well. I think you're right.
Some team Portugal, and I know you playing the boy Leal. He's excellent. Comes on him. I would start him.
Yeah.
They're very good. I think they can do it.
Who's the wee guy with the left foot plays with Man City for them?
Bernardo Silva. He's a joke.
What a player he is,
I
by the
love
way.
football player, isn't he?
Oh my God.
Everything. Play anywhere, take everything.
Yeah.
Just that.
Fernandes was very good last night.
Fernandes was good.
Very good.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Aye, it was a good team.
Can you play every position?
No, I'm shit. I'm short.
What would you struggle at?
I'm short in some positions.
What would you struggle at?
No.
Is it a hips?
Nah, it's not like that.
Not too excited, that.
Aye, fam. No, they can do it. Portugal, get there.
Compose yourself, come on.
Portugal could do it.
Portugal can do it.
I think there's one team you look at and say, aye, they're stick on to win it.
France is probably not.
It was a good shout for you till you think England could go on to win it.
Listen, it's still early days.
Good shout, wee man.
Still early days.
They drew with
You
Scotland
never know.
on the last Euros and got to the final. Listen, I don't think England done this.
I know, but Gareth's gone, mate, isn't he?
They're even talking about the day. They're
Like,
talking
see
about.
that last tournament, you could see that Southgate had a bit about it. I think he's gone now.
They're talking the day
Scotland,
about playing Henderson and bringing in Kyle Walker just to try and secure like a fucking draw against Wales.
I'd bring Walker
And you're
back
like,
in.
that's negative as anything, isn't it?
Wales.
But then at this point, do you sacrifice being a wee bit negative just to get through the group?
No, do you fuck, do you think?
No,
Well, obviously,
Wales are.
they've got to play forward now.
I've got to play forward, innit? Plays with Man City every week. How's he not playing with England?
I don't.
Isn't fit in how he wants to play?
Because it's so boring.
I don't know. They had it in the Euros, didn't they? Grealish. Why is Grealish not playing? Every time he didn't play him, why is Grealish? This time it's Foden. Foden, maybe Southgate's looking at it saying he doesn't really play that well for England, and he's no wanting to put everything on him. It's getting worse now because the longer he doesn't play him, the more people are going to say you need to get Foden in the team. But he's an unreal player.
Yeah.
You would think that they could find a system to fit him in. I think when he's played before, he's played wide left, wide right. Knew that they're playing, without doubt, plays one of the attacks.
Who's playing in 10 man?
Mount. So it's Foden or Mount for me.
Foden.
And I'd put Foden in and just let him go and pick up good. Because if you're going to play Bellingham and Rice, or if it's Henderson and Rice, or any of that combination, then go and play. Aye. That's rubbish.
That is
That is
terrible.
rubbish.
Very bad.
Nearly as bad as your trousers.
It's me exactly there.
Gareth Southgate should wear these on the side, shouldn't he?
brilliant.
With a shirt and tie.
Not an else.
These with a shirt and tie now.
You put them where the waders you getting on when you're going fishing.
By the way, Beale and Ramsey, I mean, they've been Wales, legends for Wales, but they've not played any football up to this World Cup. And they look like two men doing, didn't they?
See them two. If Pagey had put them two on the bench.
Pagey, is that? Oh, Pagey, right?
What do you think of his performance?
Did he text that?
No, that's
Text him
World
in
Cup.
there. Text me the Euros, didn't he?
Text him right now, Kev, see if he replies.
Go text him. Say,
So anyway, if he had
He's only the biggest game in their history.
If he,
I'm sure he'll be right back.
Of course, that's big Kev. I'll get back to him.
text him.
He says,
Watching Wayne Hennessy.
what will I say?
Slaney says, Beale and Ramsey are finished.
What did you do to Wayne Hennessy?
He can, he's got a fucking game tonight.
He has messaged him on his message back.
Pagey,
What are you going to text him saying?
Hey mate, great to hear from you. Appreciate the message. Hope you're well. That was what he sent back to Kev for the Beale flag.
Say good, no, just like good luck tonight, you horny Welsh dragon. Go. Just like that, good luck for tonight, you horny Welsh dragon.
Good luck tonight. Get fucked.
Honestly, Honestly.
And then-
the biggest game of their life tonight.
And then
Good luck
right,
tonight, get fucked into them. It's not.
you horny Welsh dragon, you horny Welsh
That's what I said,
dragon.
didn't go for the
Ah,
Right, so if he didn't play Beale or Ramsey, right, and he has a couple of difficult results, what's the Wales fans going to
They
be
need to
crying out
play.
for?
That's the thing.
And then now that they're not playing particularly well, it's like he's in a no-win situation.
Gareth
The
Bale
manager.
pops up with goals. He doesn't need to play well. He pops up with big goals and big moments.
and Ramsey's grand has won the World Cup in Elf, so you've got to play with.
Surprised he's not spoke to you.
Oh, that's he did.
I know.
Surprised he's not spoke to him. That's a sad as well.
Can Wales beat England?
Absolutely no
not.
chance. They're having a nightmare, Wales.
Yeah,
You just said how bad England are.
I know, but Wales are.
nothing.
Wales always up their game against England.
So do you think Wales can do it?
You never know.
But yes or
I
no?
wouldn't say definitely no.
They need one by
Can
four,
they
don't
win?
they?
Aye. No, if they win
if
and
they
the
win
other
and
games are draw, that's
other
right.
games are
Oh,
draw.
are they?
Aye.
Why is Hal Robson can't know that?
He's a stupid one, eh?
Uh-huh.
I think he's retired, is
Is he retired?
Who thinks me the best pundit? My favourite commentator is John Dublin. He's outstanding. Isn't he?
No.
He's so knowledgeable.
Best pundit.
Coisty.
He's co-coms,
course,
isn't he?
he's the best com.
Neville's been good talking about guitar and that. So, do you watch that interview?
Roy Keane and Souness arguing.
Oh, that was genius, wasn't it?
Maybe Souness would take him.
Souness has gone into a wee bit, he just doesn't give a fuck now, man.
I think he's changed.
What he says, if you'd actually listen, you would
Aye.
maybe learn something.
Aye.
Souness
Roy
would take
Keane, man.
Souness would take Keane all day.
But then
so.
can Keane argue with
Souness
Souness
is a
when
big
they start
hard man.
talking about putting things on the tables? Keane's not really in that.
I don't know, Keane's won what? How many Premier Leagues?
Aye, but Premier Leagues, well, I'm thinking
2
Premier
Euro-
Leagues.
no, one
European
European Cup,
Cups.
one European
Keane,
Cup.
What's Souness won? 3
Souness,
European
3.
Cups.
3 European Cups, how many leagues?
I think the two of them can argue with each other, but I just think Souness would take him if it went any further.
What, as in a fight?
Like right now or in their prime.
Right now, I think Souness would.
Yeah.
Souness is... Derek always
Keane
says
was a boxer
Souness...
too, wasn't he?
I think Keane would
Keane
take.
done a bit of boxing there.
I bet Derek says Souness was
Aye.
the scariest guy ever.
I know, but it's Derek, innit? For fuck's sake.
See that? I did it,
Flung him about, wouldn't you?
Aye, Derek.
Who would you say, Souness or Keane?
I don't know. In their prime, it'd be a right good fight.
I'm going Keane.
I would say Keane.
In the other pundit, Souness
If it was
or
a punching match, I'd say Keane. If it was a kicking
Lee
match,
Dixon would be a good fighter.
Oh, aye.
him and Townsend.
You've been watching BN Sports, he's on that. That's Townsend.
Is he
I don't
Townsend?
know,
He's wee
probably.
mushy Barnett.
He's good commentator. Mate.
Germany.
What about them?
Have they got a chance of doing anything? I'm surprised with Hansi Flick. He's not made that.
They need to-
Germany. I know.
You said they were going to win it because they had the best. No, I'm going to quote it because they've got the best manager in the tournament.
I thought they done well against Spain at times. Pressing looked a wee bit more like them. But the problem's going to be scoring goals.
He's not playing the right team. The next kid didn't start the first game. Should have started. Came in the second game better.
So he's playing the right
So
team
you're saying
now?
he's not the best manager now?
No, I think there's been upset in the Germany camp.
What
That
is it?
shot put has been going a bit. I did it. But and then Sani's in now. Sani's came back and he made a big difference, didn't he, when he came
very
on?
good, aye.
So I still think you need to be careful of Germany.
Belgium are.
Belgium was
Oh,
like,
man.
over the top.
You see they're going to win.
De Bruyne and that were
Did I
arguing
say
with
they're gonna win
Martinez
it?
on the side of the pitch, isn't it? This will be Martinez's last tournament of Belgium manager, isn't it?
He's director of football as well at the FA.
Is he? At Belgium
He need to
FA?
sack himself.
That'd be a great meeting.
know.
that.
The technical director.
Just
or something.
aging, that's
I
all
don't know
it
why
is.
he's had such
They should
a
have
run at that.
next match. Steve Bruce.
Need to go different.
Just go and get Steve Bruce.
Get
shouldn't
that
they?
goal man
Third in the World
direct.
Cup, that was the achievement 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Third place winners. That's really been, that generation should have had so
But
much.
is that generation as good as people talk about? De Bruyne and Hazard for me were top company.
When Hazard was
the
top.
back four was always like Alderweireld, Vertonghen.
Still good
They're good
players.
players. Though.
But are the world class players to go and win tournaments?
De Bruyne and Hazard, they're the ones, they're the two.
De Bruyne and Hazard.
Lukaku? Nah, he's not really.
Big Romelo's coming on as a sub.
Were they as good as every? Who was it? The boy that played in
Mertens.
Napoli? Mertens.
He's good.
Aye, they had a team that were capable of winning it.
Think.
Definitely. But De Bruyne last week saying they're too old to win it. Vertonghen coming out and saying, well, maybe the attackers are too old as well because we don't create anything. And like, it's just mental. If you're getting into a tournament, all right, if you're going to argue, then don't let everybody see it. But they're arguing it in public, and they just bore you to tears watching, rolling it
nothing
side
seems to
to
do
side, and no movement, no speed, nothing. Just and Batshuayi up front. He doesn't allow you to get up the
Fucking hell.
he doesn't allow you to get up the park. He's had a brilliant career and he's he is a good player, but for what they need to get him their best players higher up the park, he's not doing it, and they're gone. They're absolutely gone. Morocco were brilliant against them.
Is Henry still involved?
Aye.
He's still there. But they're done Belgium. He should never have got as long as he's got there. We've got a group of players and he's been at the helm, mate.
What's happened to Hazard?
I know
it's hard when you say when it's...
Did you see him before the tournament?
No.
I know that I can't play the way I used to, but you know I can still have an impact. I'm not as good as I used to be.
Wee man's chucked in it.
He can't even move, mate.
They've all...
And he's still playing.
Went to Real Madrid and just lived life.
Chucked it,
I just chucked it, got the money and that's him, just chucked it.
Tell you a player who I've been really impressed with, and I think will get a big move, in Valencia. You seen him?
He was at West Ham, wasn't he?
West Ham,
He's the one that's Ecuador's all-time scorer.
Yeah. The other players got
Ecuador are decent to, aren't they?
Ecuador, they
Ecuador
play
are decent.
Senegal today. Should beat them to qualify.
We don't know, do we?
No,
That's good knowledge.
I really wish
Maybe
I
a
never asked
researcher
it.
game, Paul.
Anybody else getting big moves?
What would that? Who does that Musiala play with Germany? Who's he actually? Who's
He's at Bayern Munich.
So he's not getting a big move. But what?
He's had
The guy for America is outrageous. Musa, centre mid.
Is he?
He is
I thought they were
unbelievable.
brilliant.
America are good,
I
aren't
thought they
they?
were
See the
Wes
lights on
Carter
McKennie.
Vickers can't get a game, can he?
McKennie was excellent.
Who's he
Brilliant.
at?
Juventus.
Is he, right? Wow.
I think he'd get a game ahead of that Zimmerman.
He should.
Nah, definitely.
Zimmer, he played in England, didn't he? Was it?
Yeah, it was Zimmer.
Fulham, is it? That's fair.
Wayne Hennessy's getting a move after this.
Wayne Hennesy was my goalie Wolves.
Was he?
Aye.
Was he like?
Great big guy.
See, for like the last
Aye,
game,
was
they
good.
should let Hennessy and the Qatari goalie play for Qatar.
Who's Wayne
I can't
Hennessy?
believe you're letting the Japan go away, mate. Did you see him? We hit the shot for the edge of the box. It was like, see when you play in goal, like you get a shot in goal and you're desperate to dive, but you just
Didn't need to.
did it rang, aye. The boys like clipped it and he's dived too early. Got the gloves on and it's went in.
Oh my
Cost
God.
him.
Somebody that's brilliant, the goalie, you know, having nightmares in it. I'm trying to think of any other players that caught my eye. There's
There's no that one. There's always like a one or two that stand out, and everybody talks about them.
Aye.
But there's nobody talking about anybody.
And you could, every nation had like an individual that you were so excited to watch. I mean, bar Neymar, Messi,
Mbappe.
bar them, there's nobody really that's skillful, is there?
Nah.
Mbappe, like I think Aaron
He's
McCoy
outstanding.
summed it up that he said that he'd never seen him playing in real life, and after watching him live, like his movement and the speed was incredible. I think one of the clips showed that he went one way to go the other way,
Aye.
and put the ball in his half just with
That was
movement.
amazing.
And I'm thinking, oh wow. And the right back, who was the right back that plays with Hearts? Was it Kingsley? No,
No, it was Atkinson.
Atkinson.
He got roasted.
Oh my
I know,
God,
big
man.
fuck.
I think he might have got football after that performance. Not his performance, because obviously he's playing against a world-class player, but that was tough. That was very tough. But
Have you seen somebody get roasted like that while you're actually playing and thought, I feel for you so much right now?
I probably have that. I can't
Did you not say, did Sterling not run somebody in a youth team game?
Stephen O'Donnell.
Stephen
One
O'Donnell.
of the worst I've seen. His actual driving shot. He got by him that many times. He'd drive his shot in right in his arse.
Steve Clark was on the side, wasn't he? Clapped him. You're doing great, Stephen.
But no, that was probably the worst I've seen. What about you? You might that. That's a
I'm
good
trying to
question.
think.
It's sad to see, by the way.
It's
It's
horrible.
really sad to see. I remember Bob McHugh happened to a defender. A defender all over him for Hibs. Hibs, every time he controlled the ball, the defender
came
just came
into
in that side. And then Jim Gannon said, I called him Bob McHugh after the game.
That stuck as well.
Yeah, it's
Unbelievable. He went like me, he swear to God, because you see the next game, 3 of the strikers were injured, and Jim Gannon's walked into the dressing room and went, I'm going to fucking play Bob McHugh.
That's terrible. That's your mate. You're putting it out there.
Bob was outstanding, but imagine there's a young player hearing that with yourself.
Oh
my
Bob was outstanding, Bob could have done anything bad to him.
It's usually fullbacks, isn't it? Was it Cammy? No, it was somebody. Jota rinsed somebody last. I was at the game. It was Kieran Freeman for Dundee United.
It was, aye,
Who was
that's
it?
it,
Ramon
was,
for
aye.
us. I felt for him back then.
Still, you're going, man, for like, he's nobody's doubling up with him.
Moy, but by the way, Aaron Moyes, he was fucking excellent
So
last
Harry
year.
Shooter.
Harry Shooter, really good.
He's outstanding.
Scotland have missed it big time on Harry Shooter now.
I don't know if
I
he
think at
decided
that
he chose.
At that time, when it was talk about when he chose Australia, he was still young and hadn't played
Was he playing
much.
the lower leagues of English football at that time?
He'd had a loan spell at Ross County.
Ross County, that's
Up
right.
here.
Aye, and then
Was it Fleetwood with Joey Barton?
Fleetwood, that's what. Then he got his move to Stoke, and it's only when he started performing
Aye.
at Stoke he got.
But he was already an international.
Aye.
Did you see the Australian manager when they asked him about like pundits speaking about him and ex-players?
He's a hero, him.
But he's one of them and his kids on it. He's like, I've not heard it. Mate, you've heard it. You know everybody that's been
Is he
fucking
the Canada guy?
Be Canada guy.
The Canada manager? So we're going to fuck Croatia and they can make 4 lands.
He's English, isn't he?
He's a Geordie.
Aye.
Is it? What's his name?
Can't remember the boy's name now. But
He won the Olympics
Kevin
with
Key.
the women's team.
Oh, did he,
He
right?
got them.
Have you seen your ex-teammate Kev Coban having a bit of a Twitter spat with Paul
Did he?
Pescillido?
What about?
He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Coban. Zinedine Coban.
Killer, right?
One of the best guys you'll ever
They
meet.
were talking about.
Good player as well, eh?
I don't
Aye.
think Paul Pescillido was happy about like the Canadian TV media group was like Stevie Caldwell, Scottish guy, Kev Coban, Irish guy, and he was saying, why don't we get some Canadians on?
Who, like Wayne Gretzky or something?
Like him.
Who you want?
Like
Oh,
Paul
right.
Pescillido.
Brian Adams. Brian Adams just sitting there talking about 4-4-2. What Canadian guy you want on, mate? Fuck's sake. Who
How many there? You must have a few there.
Drake, imagine
Ryan
Drake
Reynolds
just sitting there rapping about the game, the football.
Ryan Reynolds could do it.
Reynolds, he could do it, right?
Right, Justin
No,
Bieber.
because he's dog shit in that documentary, there's no way he's getting that job.
Oh,
You see
shots
that?
fired. No, I've no.
I thought Davis has been outrageous. What a player that boy is. I think he is amazing. Any other wee standouts I'm trying to think of? No.
Not many games. I mean, you go and take a piss, there's another game on.
You've not really seen the
Somebody
cameras.
said, is that true that they're paying fans to go?
Aye,
Aye.
supposedly. Don't know, but
Right, now, this stage, we've made our prediction at the start. Now, new predictions. Who's going on? I'm going Spain.
What are you laughing?
I'm just changing his mind. He'll change it next week.
Aye, but it's good that you get to see the teams now and what they've got.
Busquets is still a joke. There you go.
Aye, tough for me.
I've got a real feeling, and this is
Wales.
I know he's going to say England.
Wales, innit?
No, it's not England. It's Matt's out there. I think Morocco could do it. No, mate, I'm serious. See,
Fuck off.
mate, I swear to God, I think it's going to be one of the World Cups that a shock's going to happen.
Someday.
Remember, I know this is real.
Greece.
Remember, Greece done it, right? But see, watching, there's something about Morocco, see with the crowd, it's outrageous. Oh, seriously, because I don't want to think this, but
Your opinion, Paul. It's fine.
Back yourself, I can tell you. Back
I
yourself.
think it's going to be something like that. There you go. It's going to be a shock because I don't
Nonsense.
think...
I'm only kidding.
I don't think there's no big team out there that you feel have caught the eye. And see football now though, you can get in that low block now and make it hard though, can't you? So it's not as if teams can just go there and hammer you. So I think it's going
They're
to
a
be
good
that.
team.
They
They're
are
a
a very
good
good
team.
team.
I'm going to say-
Hakimi, Ziyech.
France are going to retain it. And I think for me, they've got that. A lot of teams, big teams, have got that individual player, but Mbappe for me is on fire. And I just really like Giroud. I think
Giroud
he
can
can
score a
offer. I
lot,
think he
couldn't
just gives you different types of goals.
Aye.
Some strikers in the World Cup need balls played through, but he can do either. We balls played through, cross at the box, head, foot, volley. I think when you've got that with Mbappe on the wing, I think there's a chance, and they've got other good players.
And Dembele, mate, what a player he is.
Dembele.
Brilliant. And then
Varane at the
Coleman
back.
comes on for him.
Yeah, I think they've got a good squad, but listen, it's a long way to go. What about Croatia? Is that
Brilliant.
good?
They were
I
good.
caught them early doors.
You've changed your
That was
mind,
my
though.
dark horse, mate.
You've changed your mind, so have you. I'll go for Brazil.
Still, sticking to your guns.
Brazil. No, I think I went for Argentina. I didn't. No, I said Argentina. I wanted them to win it.
Yeah.
I think that it'll be Brazil or France because they've got everything.
Yep.
Both squads have got everything. Neymar's a big loss for
But Vinicius
Brazil,
is
but
brilliant.
aye, yeah, it's
See that offside goal, mate? It was a great goal as well. Wasn't it?
Aye.
great finish. One.
Offside, like a yard on the fucking halfway line, wasn't it?
I've got an unbelievable how to change offside. See how like the ball on the line, it needs to be the full ball's the other line. It should be your full body needs to be offside.
Nah. Full body.
A gap between the
No, so if there's any part of your body onside, you're onside.
Aye.
I think.
I
Just
would
so
agree with
mate,
that.
every goal is getting.
I would say there needs to be daylight between the bodies, like the piece try. So if like, you're going, as long as there's daylight between them, then offside. But if they're touch and touch, I think then.
I think somebody's already tried
that's a
to
good
put
shout,
tried
that,
that,
that in. Aye.
Any part of your body's on, you're onside.
Aye. So there has to be daylight. So when they do draw the lines, if there's daylight between them.
Somebody's arm was offside the other
So
night.
when the ball goes wide, you could just kind of attach yourself
So you could-
this side of the man.
Like
Yeah.
you put your leg, you could hold your leg back like that.
realistic, on it.
You could put your leg back.
So if that ball's coming in, the goal's there, and Faddy's the last defender, I could just stand like that and
going on
keep
here?
the ball.
You're putting your leg up there.
That wouldn't be offside.
What?
So that ball's wide, and he's the last defender. I'm striker.
Aye,
that wouldn't.
something needs to
wouldn't-
change,
As long as-
So
as
you're
long
still
as the
onside
line-
because that ball that's just coming.
so I'm still onside?
But it's been
Nah,
cut
you can't
back,
do
so
that.
you're still
See,
onside.
that's what strikers could just do that.
But as long as it's just as long as
the ball gets the midfield player striker just does that and he's onside.
You'll bring us down here and get it.
No, but that's what would happen, isn't it?
No, but what I'm saying is, I just think it should be if there's any part of your body onside, you're onside. It stops all the nonsense.
Aye.
I do.
I like that thinking, Paul.
I want something needs to change because I don't like that if a defender's flat and a striker's leaning forward and the shoulder or the t-shirt line is offside, the defenders either took that gamble and the striker's proactive. I don't like it because they're in line, but a wee part of them is offside. Rubbish. I know it's the part you can score away, but I don't like it.
I don't know if your legs in front, but maybe if it's any part other than the leg, then it should be onside. So, like you say, having arms in front.
But that complicates things again. Right. If you're saying
the offside is bad,
parts,
but what about the handball rule? Last night's penalty.
That's a pen all day.
No, it shouldn't be.
I think it's a pen all day.
No.
Oh, good debate here. Then you go.
Well, this is my side, and I'll throw my side to you first. Fernandes does an unbelievable bit of skill. Puts it through the boy's legs. He goes round him. He get it because he's done that unbelievable bit of skill, and he gets to where he would be, and the ball's away now because it's hit his horn. Fernandes gets punished for. Do you know what I mean? That's a good
argument, Paul.
It's a great argument.
That's the guy that's trying to argue about it.
No,
do you know what I mean?
I do, but he's made an attempt to tackle and he's fallen.
That's bad defending though.
I know that, you don't get punished for bad defending. It's a natural position. He goes to make a block and he's fallen. It's clumsy, aye. There's nothing in the laws of the game that says if the defender's clumsy and it hits his horn, it's a penalty.
No, but because he's been clumsy, that's why he's hit his horn. So it's bad play for him and that's why it's hit his horn.
But there is, because he's decided to go to ground, it's a supporting arm. It shouldn't, for me, it shouldn't have been a penalty, but it goes down to the referee's prerogative again.
Handball penalty, isn't it?
You still touch you in it, aye.
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 See, you've got over it quite quickly.
I thought about it once. No yet.
Oh, you want to go keep going?
Do you see Abubakar's chip? That's the highest chip in the world.
Scoop,
do you know why that fly? Do you know why that fly was flinging into him? What have you got in your zip?
Oh no, tell me that not open. What do you
That's
mean?
where the fucking flies came in. What's the flies?
What was that?
You got a banana in his pocket.
Where's your deodorant?
Yeah, what's happening?
Well, that's it. So why have you got deodorant?
You've just went away.
Do you know the shower this morning?
Missed the boat.
Tribute to Greece with the hair on it. Falling Greece.
Man was in this
Kettle was on.
That man was in this morning, so I missed the boat.
How? And then what?
No, she was in the shower.
Hey, come on, that was some scoot for Abubakar,
Did you
wasn't
see
it?
that scoop?
That never said.
No.
When was this?
Football must
Sunday,
go to 4-4-2 now. I've been watching and studying it, and I think 4-4-2 must. Football gets so much better when there's team 4-4-2.
That fly, as soon as I open that zip, no, I couldn't done the zip. You done the zip.
It did come for that side.
Wait,
4-4-2, so is that what you tell him when he's lining up?
You did say, would you play 4-4-2?
I'm just thinking about it now.
Would you know?
Nah.
Why?
I like to tell me numbers in the middle of the pitch.
Drop one in. 4.
That's
say
not
that.
the end of the deal,
I've got a
isn't it?
reply.
What did he say?
Thanks, mate. That's the plan.
On a podcast would you get that? Now say something horny Welsh Dragon, please.
I'm horny. Paid you for that reply.
No, just say, God the best, you horny Welsh
Gotta be
Dragon.
professional.
Gotta give him a bit.
Gotta be
Got
professional.
to give him a bit.
Is that a World Cup? You'll get a hero for life if you do it.
Pages are, listen, one of the hardest working guys I've met in football, Pages, so he deserves
That's
to be.
Hennessy. I need to know about Hennessy.
What do you want to know?
Massive.
What he was thinking.
Massive. He's huge. He was the first goalkeeper that I ever remember like could scud the ball like at a low.
Who, Matt? Hennessy?
Hennessy. Oh my God.
What a good kicker.
So see when you were like, when I played, we used to stand just on the other side of the halfway line because that's where all the goalkeepers used to be able to kick the ball to just over the halfway line. And you went to Wolves on loan. And he used to stand there and the fucking ball would end up in the 18-yard box. And I was like, holy shit. And I just thought, that was the first time I thought that goalkeepers learned, I don't know how they, just technique, but he was huge, about 6 foot. He'd be bigger than Craig Gordon, 6'5", 6'6".
I'll give you somebody a tenner if you get this right. The German striker that scored the other night, played in Division 1, Division 2, his career. What is he most known for? What's he famously known for?
His teeth.
No, but you're nearly right.
The gap in his...
And the tooth gets stuck in his head.
Aye.
Wow.
You never get my chance.
Who he did not? He better vote for
That's a tenner, mate. You stopped me from getting that right there.
You got a tenner on you?
No.
Just take that cash.
Boys.
No way.